suspend public commentary till after borough business.
I'll second that.
Moved in second, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Borough financial report.
Everybody has a copy.
Let's do some business first, adjournment, and then.
What?
I thought mine were over here, but I came back into there. Well, I don't see it anymore.
I laid them there.
Okay, I'm sorry. I picked them up. I'm sorry.
Oh, you still have that.
Yes. This?
Yeah.
No, this one. The letter of adjournment. No,
Oh, okay.
you need to deal with that first.
Okay. Effective immediately as of January 31st, I, Mayor Anita,
July.
I'm sorry, July 31st, I, Mayor Anita J. Catalysic, am returning to my position as mayor. Need a motion to accept.
I'll make a
The letter.
motion to accept her.
Second.
Second? You need a motion?
Did he second Jimmy? Second.
No, he just
No,
motioned.
just motion.
There you
All in favor, aye?
go. Aye.
Borough financial report.
Copy of that already. Everybody has a financial report.
Question on the borough financial report? Motion to accept borough financial report?
No, I have one question. What's this Visa payment for? For $924.64. $942.64.
Oh, he's on the bills page. That's, our Northwest visa.
Oh, for the bank?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Motion to accept borough financial report?
I'll second it.
Moved in second, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
I abstain.
Bills paid.
Okay, I broke it down for June and July. June's bills were Westcom Power, $12, $8.23, $98.51, $29.58, $17.46, $48.26, and $140.11. West Bath Joint Sewage Authority, $90. Southwest Water, $10,000. Higby Insurance, $1,458. July, Postmaster, which is our annual box fee, is $150. Visa, $942.64. West Penn, $227.67, $62.36, $17.46, $99.85. West Bath Joint Sewage, $189. Columbia Gas, $59.47. Consolidated Communications, $412.07. SPWA 10,000, County Hauling 9,000, Vassy Vreeland 1663.75, Muni Billing 406.85. Bills to be paid. Kubota Leasing, Mariana West Beth, Observer Reporter, HMT, Widmer Engineering, and West Penn Power.
Motion to pay bills?
I have a question, about the July bills. How did we, what do we owe Northwest $942 for?
I
That's
mean,
the Visa
that's,
bill, isn't it?
yeah, that's the Visa bill. I mean, that's what we use to get gas for the equipment.
Okay, I just never seen it.
Stamps, which whenever we have to buy stamps for billing, letters, etc.
Okay, I was just curious, thank you. I didn't. We owe HMT, is that for code enforcement all year?
It's for a few things, yeah.
Because that's quite expensive. I mean, we could do this ourselves and save $6,000. Because, you know, the grass is still high. That's what I thought the whole point of this was, to keep the town orderly, but it's not looking too orderly. $1,070.75 is a lot of money.
Well, he sends out the letters and nobody complies.
So why don't we go to court then? I mean, why don't we, you know, I'm not trying to be rude, I'm just saying, that's the
Well, I
whole
mean,
point.
he does take them to the magistrate and, you know, they get a fine. Doesn't mean they still have to comply.
Yeah, well, that's stupid on the homeowner's behalf then, if they wouldn't be compliant.
Right.
No, because I went around and counted the grass, I forgot my list at home, but there was a lot of yards. I mean, it's,
There are. I send him, Jim and I send him pictures, what, once a week, at least 40 to 50? So that he can address them.
I'd say you need a new code enforcement officer. Someone that will enforce it. You're paying that kind of money.
it's insane. We used to have 3 little old ladies used to ride around in their car and do it. Everything cost the same.
Motion to pay bills?
I'll second it.
Moved and second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
I abstain.
Solicitor report?
I got some literature in the mail that was sent to me by an outfit called Southwest Pennsylvania Environmental Health Project. I'll pass it around to council. It's an organization in McMurray, PA, and they are basically concerned about the development of gas wells and fracking and air pollution and water and soil pollution. So I think that's really
Something you brought before? Yeah, that's.
They were the ones that were up at the fire hall.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff you got.
I have that, yeah, but I'm saying like Kim brought the information here a while ago on that, they were in the car hall.
Oh, yes.
Mhm.
That was.
Same people.
Okay.
And then the other issues have to do with the resignation of Nick. I guess that's under new business. We'll deal with that as new business.
Engineers report? Certainly.
I spoke to the engineer this afternoon, and he indicated, I guess, that some of the sewage, 2 of the pumps have been removed. There's just 1 pump left now.
Yes.
And that project is winding up, is my understanding.
Yes.
Yes.
Saw on the sidewalk when the house blew up this afternoon. There was something, I'll tell you, an explosion in the field.
Yeah.
In the office.
My daughter worked near there. She worked closer to where the
Where's she live?
explosion was.
Where's she live?
Jefferson.
It was up on Park Avenue, right here in high school.
Yeah, it's right
Took
out.
stuff off the shelves.
Yeah, well, blew out windows and doors and all kinds of stuff. There's nothing left, you see the picture.
Yes.
There's nothing to spare.
That's it. Done. We have a letter from Nick Temus. I, Nick Temus, hereby resign my position
Thank God.
as Mariana Borough Council effective the day of the 30th of May, 2019. I have decided to resign from this position for personal reasons.
So that's, he submitted that on May 30th. So we can't even fill that ourselves then, being that it was 60 days. Now that has to go to the Court of Common Pleas.
45 days.
45, after 45 days, after, that's the voting vacancy board. Then after 45 days, it goes to the Court of Common Pleas.
Well, after 45 days, it's automatically accepted. We don't have any control over whether it's accepted or not. The question is, when did he present it to the borough? Well,
Just said after the meeting on the 30th.
well, after the meeting in May. When was the meeting in May?
May
That's what I'm
30th.
asking.
May.
The night of May 30th.
It was May 30th, wasn't
Yes.
it? The end of the meeting. But who did he give it to? That's what I'm trying to find out. Who did he give it to, and why has it not been in the borough office? Why has it been somewhere else? I don't understand.
So there was a point where he was reconsidering whether he would resign or not.
And when did that happen?
Actually, he called that night, later that night, and said he was finished.
I don't understand. He hands a letter to you after the meeting, and then later that night he says he's reconsidering?
Then he said he was finished.
And
Then
then
he called me later on that same
Yeah,
night
right.
and said he was finished.
to whom?
He called me.
Okay, but did he tell the council that? No, he just told you. I mean, he submits a letter of resignation, then he advises that he's gonna reconsider it. So is that a withdrawal of the letter of resignation?
No, because that wasn't handled here.
Well, neither was the letter. I mean, the letter wasn't presented to council, it was presented after a meeting. I'm just wondering if the borough wants to act on it, since tonight is the first time it's been presented to borough council, formally, officially, you could act on it tonight and accept his resignation, then you could appoint somebody else, as opposed to having to go through the vacancy board situation.
We're past the vacancy board.
What's that?
I said, we're past the vacancy board.
No, not if the borough council acts on it tonight as it having been submitted to the
But the
borough.
letter's dated the 30th.
But then he took it back and said, I'm reconsidering.
The same night.
Then he
And
didn't resubmit it to anybody. And it's been sitting out there in somebody else's hands.
I thought it was originally here, then went to somebody else's hands. That's what you said a few minutes ago.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Somehow the letter got out of the office, and I don't know how it got out of the office. And why, and under what circumstances would it be taken out of the office.
Well, somebody took it out. Who took it out?
I didn't even know. I don't know nothing hardly ever.
You can't make an appointment if it's gonna be accepted as of the 30th, which is the date on the letter, then, you know, the vacancy board has to be called. You have 45 days to act, you didn't act within 45 days. And so we have to appoint the vacancy board, has to take, and they have to act within 30 days. And the vacancy occurred, the vacancy wasn't filled by the vacancy board within 30 days, which would have been July the 1st. So now you're gonna have to petition the court.
So motion to petition the court on
I don't
Nick's
think,
resignation letter.
I don't think we have to
I don't
petition the
think you have
court.
to make a motion, a motion has to be provided to the Court of Common Pleas, and that motion has to be signed by 15 registered electors.
Yes. Each person can go around and submit their,
So somebody's gotta go around and circulate names in the
Petitions.
petition and ask the court to appoint somebody to fill Nick's vacancy. And it requires 15 signatures from electors, which are people who are residents of the borough, and who are residents for at least 1 year. They have to be a 1-year resident.
at least this way, hopefully they'll go off the ballot. I think they should.
Should go off the ballot.
Most municipalities do that.
Should. Just like the last time it was appointed without nobody knowing.
Yeah, that was, shady's an understatement on that one.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
You can't do anything, no, you can't do anything. The electors have to, 15 people have to petition.
EMS provider coverage. I spoke with David Dillon, and he's still interested in doing the EMS coverage.
No, this is
No.
EMS, this would be like verified
Oh,
EMS
I'm
chair.
sorry.
Yeah, you're on the wrong thing, it's okay.
There's so many acronyms. EMS coverage. Have we received anything from Bearcat?
Nothing. I think we
Bearcat.
need to send a letter
They
to
folded up,
ambulance
Jeremy
chair.
said they folded up.
That's what I heard. I tried to call to find out what was going on, but I couldn't reach anyone.
You didn't get any response from me either?
No, I didn't. I didn't hear from anyone. No.
Okay. So
I
we're-
tried to message and tried to call, and I didn't get any response.
There were several non-responses to 911 calls, Tom. And in most cases, it was handled by either ANC or Brownsville Ambulance. And no coverage was provided by Bearcat.
So, we have to appoint somebody else.
We'll have to send a letter to ANC if that's who we're gonna choose, to see if they're gonna do that coverage. Or they're on that.
Well, didn't they apply originally and said that they would provide?
Yes, that's actually who the borough had originally.
Right.
And then Bearcat came in.
Right, right, I understand.
Who has a better response time out of the two? Does anybody know the answer to this question?
Actually, Jim, because you work fire department, who gets there faster? Who has the best response time?
All depends.
Yeah.
ANC moved the truck from the Bentonville Power Station,
That's what I was gonna ask about.
so they're only 15 minutes away, but they only staff one truck down there.
So
If
they're
that
out
truck's
somewhere
on
else.
another call, then the truck that would come here would be coming from Washington. So now, at that point, it's a toss-up between Washington and Brownsville,
Yeah.
because it's the same time, same distance.
But that's nice they have a truck in Bentleyville. though. You know, a station in Bentleyville, that's nice.
Yes.
I mean, 'cause safety of the residents is paramount. I mean, that's,
Well, they've responded to most of the calls that Bearcat hadn't picked up.
Who ANC?
Yes.
Well, I mean, I think you can go ahead and appoint them and then have the secretary write a letter saying that the action was taken at this meeting and we found out that Bearcat's out of business, that we've appointed them. And they have a comment one way or the other, so let us know.
Motion to appoint ANC for their coverage of the borough.
I'll make a motion to appoint. see.
I'll second
Moved in second, all in favor, aye.
it. Aye.
And direct the secretary to write a letter
Yes.
saying that action was taken.
Got it. Beeson Ave, they put in new drains along Beeson Log Cabin. They ran 2 drains over across by the park,
Yeah,
and they ran drainage along Log Cabin Church to meet the drain at the corner of Beeson and Log Cabin Church.
yeah, it was nice. I was down there meeting with the contractor and Sarah and them, and, yeah, I talked to Phil Metz, or, Phil wasn't there yet, I think,
Yes.
contractor, Phil Metz, yeah. Them guys did a nice job with that. They did a very nice job with that. Is there anything we need to motion pertaining to that?
No,
Okay, I just seen it, okay.
not at this point, because we had already motioned to have them go ahead and work.
Speaking about Beeson, has anybody heard anything about the slide?
No. I know that Sarah was talking with a geotech
And Nathan.
and Nathan to try and see if there was a better, more cost-effective way to do that, because they thought $250,000 was,
Expensive.
actually more than that. when they finished up. It was like $325.
Yeah, but that wasn't what Mary gave us.
Yeah. But they had found that they may be able to reduce the cost and reinforce that bank. So Sarah was working on that,
Okay.
to try and see if she could get that done.
Yeah, because I reached out to Nathan and he didn't heard anything, so I talked to the commissioners and they were gonna see what was going on, but I haven't heard back from them yet.
Yeah, they wanted to make sure they had a geotech so that they could make sure that it was gonna be stable
All right.
at the same time without breaking the bank.
I was gonna approach Sarah because that thing does not look like it's sliding to me anymore. I'm no engineer, but, you know, I've been checking on it every couple of days. And it doesn't look like it's going anywhere.
It's moving. When they had the temporary lines, the vibration from the lines would take out that chunk of road that the line sat on. So they take it out, put it back on the road, then that section of road would give, and then they'd move it over.
So that's why it was over the hill then?
Yes.
Okay. Because I was wondering, you know, worst case scenario, because we don't have this money, and we got that other slide down there too. And Sarah said something about, and that informal bid she got was like 19.7 for that slide by the second bridge coming up the hill.
Yes.
And we're gonna have to nip that in the bud too before it gets bad, because that's gonna be, you know, very costly also.
Right.
And they had to go 18 feet down to hit bedrock, did they or did they not? That was 18 or 21 feet.
For Beeson?
Yeah, when they did a slide across
Yes.
from Ziegler Nelson's. Okay. Because the reason I'm asking is we have them railroad rails in the mine yard. And if there's somehow we can get them down into the ground, but it's gonna be so hard to get to bedrock, we could build cribbing there and use them old ties in the mine yard. Because we gotta do something there. I mean, we can't leave this road closed forever. And nobody's coming to help us.
Yeah, and the contractor that would put those rails down, those I-beams, was insane.
That's what I was thinking. We could, you
Close to
know,
$1 million.
dig pilot holes, have the township come over with their backhoe, bang them in the ground. If it's, you know, if we're close enough, we can do it, you know, we go down and measure it at least. Then all them, on the other side of the metal garage where the Schultz at, you know, all them ties we got over there?
Yes.
Them railroad ties, we could use them and make our own cribbing, tie it into the hillside. I was gonna talk to Sarah about that and see if that'd be feasible, because we gotta do something. We'd have to get the township to help us, because we don't have the equipment to move them. But
No,
we have all the equipment, we have all the materials needed to build it.
the high lift was probably the only thing that
Yeah,
might
I
stay
thought
in
about
shape.
that, that's the only thing that's gonna do it. But it's nice that we have all the equipment, I mean, all the materials. We have multiple rails and we have multiple railroad ties.
Well, if you wanna reach out to Sarah and see if that's,
Yeah, I tried to call her today, but she didn't answer, so I was gonna call her back tomorrow.
okay.
I just wanted to discuss it with you guys to see what you guys thought, because we have to, I mean, we have to start calling people to see if we can get help or something, because nobody wants to help us with this. And we can't leave our main thoroughfare closed forever.
No.
You know, I mean, this is just getting to the point now, we have to come up, you know, some kind of idea.
Well, now that,
I mean, I reached out to the commissioners and got the redevelopment authority involved, but I mean, that's all the farther I got. And Harlan Schober came out, but that's, you know, that's all
the fire department, they said they wouldn't be opposed to the road opening if we could get barriers from where the barriers are now to the opposite end.
What do you mean, like closing one lane off?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, we should get them plastic barriers.
They'll just move, Jeremy.
You can't fill them with water or anything?
They'll still move them.
Yeah, that's a good point. I was just worried about putting all that weight on there,
No.
because Sarah said something about that. I thought about putting the concrete barriers or two. Didn't I bring it up in a meeting, and she said something about the weight?
Yeah, but,
That would be nice to have one lane open. That's a good point.
well, it would be
Somebody-
nice, but kids will mess with them.
You're right, you're right, you're
You don't
exactly
want
right.
that.
You're exactly right.
that was the same issue too, because, if they smack those Jersey barriers, the concrete ones sideways, which we had happen, they'll spin.
Yeah, yeah.
I have a
Yeah.
question. If you do open Beeson to one lane, what about the way to the school bus? I
That's-
drive that bus up that road, and I'm not gonna take these kids down that road.
I wouldn't either. I mean, that's what I was gonna suggest, to keep them on
You know what I mean? I'd rather keep it
a
closed.
dump road.
Dump road ain't no better.
We need to do something with that stuff. I was gonna say, much liquid fuels we have and get that,
Dump
At
road
least-
ain't no better.
you know, get the potholes filled in, at least hard and chip it at the worst case
That
scenario.
whole thing needs tore up, and you should see me going down there at 10 mile an hour out dump road with all them kids. Them kids are falling out of the seat, and that's doing 10 mile an
Oh,
hour.
I bet it's horrible.
I mean, honestly, something needs done.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Beeson's closed and it's gonna take a while to open.
So we need to
But-
fix that, that's our main road now. We
Yeah,
need-
but,
we
I
need to-
mean, and until that's done, can't we get other roads fixed?
That's what I mean, we gotta fix this dump road, because that's our, Horn Valley Road, that's our main
I
road
reached
now.
out to EQT for
I agree with
any
you.
type of help towards Horn Valley, and I was told no.
And Jeremy was working on something with, was it Quick Coat?
Yeah, I called,
Suco.
yeah, they were supposed to give us estimates on all of our roads.
I mean,
Okay.
does that include even possibly widening it? I mean, because when I bring that school bus down to pick up the elementary, I mean, you got people flying out that road and they all know it's school time. I'm coming through there, that's the only way I can pick up the kids at the park. That's it, and, you know, it's either I pick the kids up at the park, or every parent's kids that go to the park, they wanna yell and scream because now they gotta go to the Lyceum for me to pick up.
No, I understand it, so, it's hard on you,
So,
you gotta
I
worry
mean,
about your safety.
it's a catch-22 for me,
Darn it,
you know what I mean?
And with the roads, we have what's called a right-of-way. It's so many feet from the center of the road. I'm not sure how much off the road. 16 off of that road?
No, the road-
But it's
All
a dump
roads are
road,
different.
it's a road that doesn't, nobody lives out there. It wouldn't matter if you widened it.
My thing is, I mean, I know everybody travels it, and,
Right.
you know, I'm sorry, but I drive school bus, and I ain't moving that bus off that road for
No, I
nobody.
wouldn't
Well, I
to
wouldn't
take.
either.
I'm
I
not,
wouldn't either.
No,
and
I
I,
wouldn't
and my boss knows that, I'm not, I don't take that bus off the road. I mean, when the dump trucks were coming through, it was a close call for them. You know,
It is what it is.
I know.
When you're there, yeah.
Who's dump truck is wrong?
Could we at least set something up where we can get some,
It
get
think it was whenever they were doing the construction. Yeah,
Get some-
exactly. There's
get some-
nobody out there. It can be wide. There's no reason why it can't.
could we get some
There's no
top,
houses out
instead of
there.
19 mm binder, we'll get top, cause
Tear
it'll
the
set up
fence
better.
down and widen it.
That 19 mm binder don't work good for them small holes.
Right.
It'd be better to get the top coat.
Yes.
We can go run down to Dunningsville and get some, we'll set up a day, tonight we'll pick a date, where that's good for everybody, and we'll go out there and, get that whole road taken care of. Does anybody know how much money we have in liquid fuels? I mean, just roughly.
32,000,
Okay.
somewhere in there?
So why can't you just go to PennDOT whenever they're milling up the roads and get the mills?
We got all kind of road millings.
Okay, so why can't you just go out there and use them?
I'd rather tar and chip it.
They pop right out that hole.
Yeah.
You fill that hole in, it'll set for a few weeks,
And they'll come
and
take it right
all it
back
takes
out.
is
Yeah.
one rain.
You have to pick all the
And it
big
starts
chunks out
coming
of it,
back out.
because if not, like he said, it'll pop right out. And there's so many big chunks through it. But that road would not be.
Wait a minute, Rick said that he would help, and Rick has been doing
Yeah, he's very good at
asphalt
that.
for 18, 19 years.
Yeah, he's a lot more knowledgeable than I am. He's good.
And Rick said that he would help, but no one came to me.
Why don't we set something up? We can do it whenever. I mean, I'll help whenever. We
Yeah,
just-
before school starts.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
get it done. Then if we get them holes filled
But
in
it's
too,
gotta be on a day he's off.
we can work
you
on,
know?
tar and chipping it. Once we get all the holes filled in, we get the good base, and we'd be good to go. Then we can tar and chip it.
I mean, you can widen that road. There's no reason why it can't be widened.
There can be one
None.
on both sides.
None.
The only thing we have to do is make contact with Beth Lynn,
Pristine resources.
yeah, Christine, so that we can have their permission to expand out.
I'm gonna go see what the right of way is on that road. I'm just curious.
Okay.
Because everybody comes flying through that road. I mean, I got a 17-year-old kid that just got his his permit, and someone almost ran him off the road. You know what I mean?
They'll do that anywhere around here.
And he drives slow. He does, he drives slow.
There's a 16-foot right of way on it. There is a 16-foot right of way on that road.
Yeah, that's what Tom said. Then all we have to do is coordinate with Deemston and Township. I mean,
Bellows was offered to help us numerous times too.
Yeah, they are, Deedson was contacted regarding their box paver, and what did she tell me? They have to approve it at a meeting to be able to help neighboring municipalities.
yes. Not only that, they don't have anybody that knows how to operate it,
Right.
but the township does.
What, the box paver?
Yeah.
I know how to operate it.
Okay,
I know how to operate it.
they don't have anybody that knows how to operate it.
Okay,
They don't even know how it hooks up to the truck, to be honest with you.
I'll call Earl Gilpin and I'll go over and talk to him.
Okay, and then if we coordinate with them, why wouldn't we just put down top the whole way down, so we fill in all those potholes.
Oh, that'd be a good idea to put a skim coat on it, that's,
Because if we do tar and chip, it's,
no, I just didn't know if we had the
like
money.
we talked before, it's not gonna work.
No, it's not gonna last.
Because it's not gonna fill in the potholes and level out the road.
No, we'd have to fill in the potholes beforehand anyways.
Right.
Because you have to have a good base before you tar and chip,
But
or it's
even-
not sense in doing it.
And then there's no telling that it's not gonna chip away from that point and open up in the center, but if we drop top down,
Now, if we have the money, yeah, I'd rather go that route. That's the right way to do it, but I just didn't know if we had the,
Well, when you do.
Financial
top,
means of
put
doing
over
it.
there on Fourth, Fifth, or Sixth.
yeah.
I got a letter today. I got a letter from, it says, Dear Marion and Borough, the sponsor for the historical marker is Marion Community Library. The date for the ceremony is September 28th, 2019 at 11. The time frame should be less than an hour for the entire program. It would be appreciated if local officials would attend. Thank you for your cooperation in this matter. We hope to see you there. That was from when Lisa Scherer presented.
okay.
I guess they got everything coordinated, and that's the date and time that it'll be installed.
That's wonderful.
So the only thing that she says she needs is just, somebody dig the hole that the memorial's going into.
Where are they placing it at?
We
It's gonna
talked
be at
about
that-
the triangle by the mine yard in Beeson, is where we
Yeah, when
approved
she
it.
first presented it.
Okay, I can remember. I mean, I'll dig the hole, I don't know if I'll dig the hole. I just don't wanna dig it now, because all the dirt will go back in if it rains.
No, I mean, we can wait closer to September.
I'll do it like a week before, I'll go down there and dig, I have everything to dig it anyways. I got more toes than a burrow does, unfortunately.
All right, and Jeremy, you and I had discussed this about hiring a part-timer as needed.
Yeah.
What do you think? Should we move toward a part-timer, a regular part-timer, or just somebody that we can call in?
I mean, it would be nice, at least for the summer months, to have a regular part-timer, but do we have the funds to do it?
No.
That's the question. I mean, we could table it and come back to it.
Yeah, I mean, I got my driver's license back, so I'm gonna help in any way I can now too.
Okay.
I'm gonna start helping, you know, do more things like I used to, instead of just running around congressionally waiting, you know, actually get some stuff done, but, I mean, do we have the funds to do it, or does anybody know if we even, like, roughly have them?
And right now, we have a part-timer, so 2 part-timers.
Probably one full-timer, yeah, move it over. I mean, cause Jerry, heck, we were talking about this since you've been on council.
Oh, yeah.
You brought that up how many years ago? I mean, it's necessary. Because there's so many things you cannot do by yourself.
Yes.
There's a lot of stuff you can do by yourself, but there's so many things you need 2 people for.
Speaking of the
Should have
weed
a-
whacker, do you still have it?
It's down in the water plant.
Oh, okay.
I was looking for a new head too, because somebody gave me a weed whacker today, and I was gonna donate it to the borough, but I was looking for one of them old heads to put on it.
Yeah, somebody can be like that, like full-time and part-time.
Yes. I mean, that
So
would
if
be
the borough
nice,
needs help, why don't you just get the inmates that have community service?
because they
Their waiting
changed
list
that.
is horribly long too.
Yeah, you have to call like over a year in advance now.
But you know the borough's in desperate need of,
Oh, yeah, I
I
scheduled
mean,
them.
that should have been done,
I think we all have them coming out this year, but everybody needs to schedule them. Like, I'm gonna call tomorrow and schedule them again, because now you have to call on the first. You used to be able to call all throughout the month. But now you have to call the first part of the month. But I think we all should call. You're right. You know, I've suggested it in the past. We all need to call.
I actually did call, and what I got was a response that they were so booked up through the summer months, he was looking for a winter project.
Wow.
I mean, we got one of the projects for them too. We got all kinds of projects for them. We
Yes.
got, no, but you're right. Everybody should be calling, you know, because we can get them 5 times a year as opposed to 1 time a year. You're absolutely right, Kathy.
So
I mean,
I've
you are.
got-
You're absolutely right.
And I've got them scheduled for November.
They're coming out, I have to call them and see when they're coming out, because remember they had to cancel last year?
Yeah.
They're coming back out for that too. I just haven't talked to, what's that gentleman's name, Joe Bartlett?
Are we tabling?
He's-
Joe Bally or Joe Bally or whatever his name is.
I can't remember his name.
Joe, the Joe gentleman's name. I don't remember his last name, but him.
No, I think he was replaced.
His boss, he replaced his boss. His boss is the head now,
Okay.
because I talked to him. I used to talk to him all the time. Yeah, them guys are great up there though, but it's just getting harder to get them. You guys, who wants to call tomorrow? I mean, to try to get them. We should all call again and try to get them. She's right. Because I only have them coming out from last year when they didn't cancel. I haven't called them this year yet. Kathy's right about that. I mean, we should call.
I mean, it is August.
Yeah, you know, because we're getting them for this year, if we can get them 5 times next year. I mean, I don't know how that works, but if we all call and request a project, they should do it.
Right.
You know,
And I've already called, like I said, I've got them for November.
I have them coming out to put that backstop in, but that's the only thing I have them coming out for.
Okay.
You know, that's the only thing that I know of, you know, beside that, I haven't called this year.
You mean there's nothing more important than a backstop?
I just had that schedule, I'm gonna probably
Needs to be
change it,
done?
I'm just saying, that's what it was, that's what it was.
I understand that, but Jeremy, there's a lot more in this town
Oh, I
that's to
know
be done
that,
than
no,
a
I'm just
backstop.
saying, that's what I called them and told them, that was over 2 years ago when I called them, that's what I'm saying, I
Okay,
haven't
but
called
I
this
mean,
year.
now you need to revise that. There's more things that are
Don't do that when they
important.
come out,
Roads.
that's what I mean, there's more pressing needs, like weed whacking, and trust me, I know, I wasn't gonna use them for that.
I
was
mean,
gonna
I
get
hear that
volunteers
there's
to do
a sinkhole up in Oklahoma. Why ain't that taken care of?
it. Wow.
Around the bend, up past Nick Timus's, if you're coming up the back way, there's a hole in the road.
Oh, that's
There's one on my road too.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
So, I mean, why ain't
it's
that
not-
being taken care of?
Yeah, why would,
It's
down
not
into
that
my
large
road.
now,
it's
but
gonna get bad.
bingo.
Why don't we get that pipe on First Street taken care of, there's another one.
Yeah, my house is still not taken care of. Where'd
needs-
that funding
Yeah, that
go?
needs taken care of.
I'd like to know where the funding went, because that was back in a year and a half ago, that the funding was presented to the board. And it still has yet to be
Why don't we just
fixed.
cut that out, like I said 100 times, just do it ourselves, we can do it ourselves, we have the means.
I'm tired of everybody saying they're gonna do it, because it never gets done.
I don't wanna tell you I'm gonna do it by myself, because can't do it. But if we all coordinate a day to do it, I mean, there's a lot of things we can do. All these pipes need cut out, we need to put back in. I mean, when Tommy Yasanowski was here, him and I and a borough worker put that,
This is not us.
Doesn't look like us, looks like it's, hopefully,
what,
smoke,
Wood.
something's burning.
some wood or something burning.
Oh, they might be burning down here at this house on East and they're working.
How you doing?
Um,
I don't know, he was riding a bike earlier.
yeah. All right,
So, did we table that?
well, I need him back in here.
there's no fire here, I don't know where it's coming from, but
Down there?
we're not on
To
fire.
table.
Okay, no.
Well, that's good.
We'll talk about the demolition.
Oh, yeah.
They wanna buy the lot next door.
Mhm.
It's been already cleaned up, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And,
Kelly,
Christine Kelly on third.
yeah, Christine Kelly.
For 15, I think it's 105.
oh,
She's behind my
Oh.
house. She lives behind me.
yes,
Yeah. And
I thought that was covered, okay.
No,
what's going on with Scott York?
that's a good question.
Scott, is it?
That is one,
Yeah.
yes, please.
I've tried calling him, I've tried emailing him,
And
And he was
she
paid.
actually,
he
yes,
was
How
paid,
much
and
was he
he's,
paid?
$4,200.
4,400.
44.
And he's never done
44.
anything.
Anything.
Who
And
you
that
guys
was back
talking about?
in March. I just reached out to him again the other day
Yeah.
because Ms. Thomas came up about property.
York Realty,
He has
Who?
York Realty.
yet to respond, so
I'll call him, I'm gonna tell him to send the check back when he gets somebody else.
Well,
Yeah.
she did,
well, I messaged him
Yeah.
through Facebook because he had messaged me. And he said that he was going to call me on Friday. That was last Friday. And he's never called.
All right, I'll call him tomorrow.
Tom, is it necessary that we get these lots appraised?
Yeah.
It's necessary,
Yeah,
okay.
even if you're gonna sell it for $1,500 where you don't have to take any competitive bids or anything like that, you still have to have an appraisal to say what it's worth.
Okay, thank you, I didn't know if it was
Yeah,
necessary.
statutory.
Okay, thank you.
that's why we went with him to
Okay.
begin with, because,
How many lots was he gonna do, 10? Is that what he was doing?
no, he was doing close to 15.
15? Okay, all right.
$200 a lot, so.
That's $3 grand.
That's $3 grand, yeah. There's like 20 lots there all
Yeah,
total
there
by the
was a
time
lot
we're
of
done.
lots.
Yeah,
Because there's $58,000 left in the LSA monies.
yeah.
Because we've got the people on Third, they want to buy that lot.
Yeah.
Somebody in Oklahoma wants to buy 2 lots.
People on
Somebody on
7th,
Seventh wants to buy 2 lots,
Jody wants to
maybe
buy
3.
a lot.
That land bank, that's what I want to discuss if we're talking about this. That land bank's a nice thing if we have overwhelming blight. But we were on par with the county when they were getting involved in this blight removal project, blight. That land bank, we have to split the taxes, we have to pay to be in that, and we have to split the taxes with the county for 5 years. Being in a land bank. I mean, we got all our blight taken care of, I don't know why we're, still in this. We were learning about blight when the county was, I was at, information meetings before Susan Morgan was there. I just don't think it's prudent to stay in this, I really don't. We're gonna pay every year to be in it, then we gotta share our tax revenue for 5 years with the county.
tax revenue on those blighted lots, is what you're talking about.
Yes, correct.
Which have no value at all, really. I mean,
Yeah, about $30, but still there's 20 lots, you know, that's at least $600 a year.
Well, that house on Ash Street is on the, in there,
1100 Ash.
yes.
Well, they would just keep it then, wouldn't they? They, the county would keep it. Do whatever they like with it.
They have it.
That's what I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
They would keep it, wouldn't they? I would assume if we opted out of the agreement, they would keep it. It just doesn't seem prudent to stay into it, you know? We're paying them to be in something that we're not, you know, benefiting from. You know, that's to help people that have overwhelming blight where we were 10 years ago. Now, if that was in place 10 years ago, I would say go for it, but we're, you know, we were ahead of the curve on blight.
You are not. You got a mess up here.
But it's all being taken care of, though.
Not all
When?
of it. Not all of it. Mm-mm.
When?
When are they gonna bid rest of the properties out, do you know?
We have to get the last list together of houses and get it back to redevelopment. After that, they'll start on the next round. The problem that we're running into is some of those houses are still owned. Owned.
Can't we could force, that's where HMD comes in. We can force them to be compliant. If they're not compliant, then
They have the list of homeowners.
because we discussed this before, you know, like this procedure for this happening, you know, this scenario.
Mhm.
You know, we've discussed this where, you know, if they're non-compliant, we can force their hand to be compliant.
Right, and we were working on the first 20 houses, and those houses the borough owned, so we just went right to,
yeah.
we just went right to dealing with them.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it's a good one, yeah.
And then,
But-
now we're with these ones. So there were probably about 7 or 8 houses that are still owned by,
Residents.
Yeah, that one at 724 is owned by people in New York. I mean, it's crazy. It's just.
But are they paying the taxes on these houses?
isn't the one?
Right there, just, I mean,
Well,
that's,
if they weren't paying the taxes, they'd be in the tax claim bureau.
well, she's
If
just
they-
saying they are
No.
paying the
They
tax.
get there, they get to the tax sale, and then somebody, like, they pay the taxes just to keep it, enough to keep it afloat year to year. It hits the sale every year, but they pay it right in time to keep it
So
from
they're
going.
paying the taxes.
So they do pay their, yes,
Yeah.
they do.
So the
So
only
no
way you can
matter
get them
how-
out is to condemn the property.
So condemn the property if it's fallen in.
Well, that's a long, expensive process. You have to hire an engineer has to write an engineering report, it has to be condemned, you have to file condemnation with the court. It's a long process, unfortunately. That's why every chance the borough had to buy those properties at the sale, we took that opportunity to do that, because you could pick them up for $400. And now you got the property, now we can just go in and demolish, so. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, there's no question, it's not easy.
That's where the land bank come in handy right there. For the houses that were owned by people, they would actually help us obtain them. That's where they were, that was the best part, in my opinion, about that. And we need to reach out to them then and see if they can assist us in any way with this. Rob, somebody's in charge of the land bank. I forget the gentleman's last name. With the redevelopment authority. I can't remember his last name.
That's okay, I can reach out to them. On the hiring of part-time labor, you wanna table that?
Well, we need one now. I mean, you guys wanna, I make a motion, we go to executive session and discuss this real quick.
Well,
If the borough doesn't have the money, Jeremy, why would you want to do that?
I don't know if we have the money. I never got an
I'm
answer.
saying.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
obviously
That's
wait,
why I asked.
obviously you don't have the money, or we wouldn't be in debt with the water company.
Oh, yeah.
So therefore, why even table it to go talk about it? It's not gonna happen, there's no
Yeah,
money.
It's not gonna help them. I do it, exactly. No, I
Yeah,
agree with
exactly,
you.
so
I agree with you.
just move on from it. You don't have the money, you can't even pay the water bill.
I know.
So I wouldn't even worry about getting a part-time helper. If the one part-timer helper you have can't do the job, then hire a full-time one and be done with it.
motion to table? Or you wanna go in executive?
No matter to me. I mean, do we have the money to do this or not? I mean, like she said, she's right. I mean, if we don't have the money, why worried about it? I mean, we need one, but if we don't have the money, we don't have the money. I mean, that's what I'm asking. Can we afford this or can't we?
Well, if we got a full-time labor, we have a part-time. If we get 2 part-timers,
That would only be 8 hours over a full-time then, right? What are they working, 24 hours a week? So that'd be 48 hours a week for both For both employees?
Yes.
Okay, I mean, that's what I was asking. If we can afford that, I would just say, you know,
afforded a full-time laborer before.
I mean, our
Yeah, but you
meeting,
weren't in debt before. You weren't in debt before.
you're right, we have to be very fiscally conservative, we do. We have to be,
So,
I mean, I would say, you know, let's see, we're at the meeting, the next meeting's in 10 days, a little over 10 days, so. You know, see what we're working with and just go from there.
okay.
You know, I mean, I'll make a motion we table it to the second week of August, but no later, because we need them now. We don't need them in the winter, and I mean, right, if we don't have the money, we don't have the money.
All right, second.
I'll second it.
Moved and second, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
What does this OPTS mean?
It's Ops and Associates.
Okay,
They're an auditing company. They'll come in and they'll do an audit, a full audit. They do an in-house audit. They're not like Wright was, where you take out the QuickBooks and he just goes through and audits QuickBooks.
we need everything audited.
They actually,
This is what they
Ops
do.
and Associates comes in and they do a full in-house audit.
Okay, I'm all for that. I was gonna make a motion and we do that tonight, so.
I thought it was 44, she told me, she emailed me a list of.
It's 42 and then it's 2,000 if they find something.
Yeah, okay.
It's $4,200 for the audit and an additional 2,000 if they find something?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, how deep we need them to go into the books?
A long way.
That's what I was gonna
Well, they go
motion.
back 5 years. So I need a motion to accept Ops and Associates.
Is this a regular audit or a forensic audit?
This is a full audit, it's forensic audit, if you.
Okay, I make a motion that Ops and Associates does a forensic audit for $4,200, then an additional $2,000 if they find something. Does anybody find any discrepancies? Does anybody second the motion?
I'll second it.
Moved in second, all in favor, aye.
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 Now, will that audit be public?
Yes.
Yes. Roads update. Actually, before we get to the roads update, Sarah wanted to have a workshop.
Okay.
She wanted to discuss, she wants to do a rate assessment, she wants to discuss the slide, and she wants to discuss some of the projects that are going to be happening or still happening, as well as give us updates on the pump station in the park. She'd like to do it at some point next week. That way there she can have all her reports and stuff together for the meeting, so that she can ask for approval on whatever it is she needs.
Okay. Whatever day is good for you guys, I don't think I have. Top of my head, I can't think of nothing I got going on.
Well, I'll call her and find out when she's available,
Okay.
or you can read,
I can.
yes, if you would call her and find out when she's gonna be available, so the workshop can happen. Did you have a chance to read that?
Has anybody heard anything? Because I talked to Sarah and she said the design phase was done and she checked in with Penvest
So, I'm sorry.
about the water lines because, you know, people are talking to me left and right about these roads and, you know, I understand where they're coming from. You know, they need done, but everybody's, you know, in agreement. Well, most people are in agreement that there's no sense in tearing up the roads when you're going to, you know, putting the road, you know, repaving the roads when in a year or two, we're going to have the water lines installed. Has anybody heard anything like a time frame, like a rough time frame as to when this is gonna transpire?
Nothing yet.
Okay, I'll call
Nothing
Sarah,
yet.
because I tried to call her today.
Okay. Speaking of the water lines, we had a meeting back in June with Penvest, DEP, Southwest Water.
Yeah, that's what I was referencing, yeah, she did, Sarah.
Yeah, and they're actually looking for funding. They want to get that tower over by the school redone or
Yeah.
replaced. Penvest suggested that they incorporate the water lines here in the borough with their project, rather than having two Penvest loans out. The project would actually be under them and become it would be their loan, their lines,
Yes,
to aid with the transfer.
yes.
So that's where they were at with that. I know that Sarah was working with Penvest to try and fill in some of the gaps, because she has the schematics already done, the
Yeah,
drawings.
design phase, yes.
They're all set up and they're ready to go, so she's going to present with them and then let them review that as part of the scope of Southwest Water's project, and we should be hearing something on that.
I just hope it comes to fruition, because we undertook that project when you were still on council in 2015. You know, it's just a long time coming, and they're still needed, because these water lines are 82, 83 years old. You know, they're past their life expectancy. You know, and I'll get in touch with Edwin, just so I just want to make sure it's okay still. He said he would come down and tell us what we need, because we have nothing left in, you know, supplies to fix water breaks.
There's some stuff that's still in the plant.
Okay, he
When
went
you
through
walk in
that.
the doors,
Yeah, he went through that box, so it's nothing that we could really, it's just miscellaneous stuff that's been laying around forever. Actually, we have no clamps left if the pipe breaks, you know, we have a little bit of stuff left, but not a lot.
yeah,
We're out of the major stuff that we use all the time, is what I'm getting at.
we have 8-inch and 6-inch couplers, the yellow ones, the multi-bolt. We have 2 each. We have a set of each of those, and then we have the band clamps.
Okay, yeah, we have, that's the only thing we do have in stock, and an adequate amount is the band clamps. We need them things, you know, like when the service lines break, I forget what they're called, them fittings, you know, to tie into the service lines with the shut-off on top.
Yes.
Them brass fittings, we just need a lot of stuff, so I was gonna get to compile a list for us of what we need,
Okay,
you know, and go over trouble and get it. Is that fine with everybody?
that's fine with me.
Because I don't want us to be stuck, you know, have a water break and not be able to fix it.
And that'll actually work.
Okay. I was supposed to do that a while ago, but I've had a lot going on with Matty, so I told him I'd get back with him, you know.
Okay.
He's been very understanding with that. Jim, do you wanna, are you free, like, are you working you're working Friday, aren't you, or?
Yes.
Okay, do you wanna, if I can get this done tomorrow, hopefully, well, we don't even need it, we don't even need no parts to fill that hole in. Do you wanna fill that hole in on 2nd Street alley, between 1st and 2nd Street?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, you want me to meet you down there at like 9 AM? All right, thank you. We need to get that done. We don't have any other major breaks that anybody knows of, do they? Anybody see any water leaking anywhere?
Not yet.
Don't ask.
Yeah, you know, that's a good one.
Don't ask.
Because the council member backed us, I think it's chairperson. Council petition.
I gotta go. Is there is everybody okay with like, should we, because I wanna get these holes filled in around town, there's holes everywhere.
Yes.
And I'll help, and like them gentlemen from Deepston said they'll come over to help, because that guy that lives next to your grandparents, Tristan, he works for Bellsville Borough.
Oh, yeah,
Matt, and his boss said he'll come down, they're willing to help us, you know, so. I just wanna get these holes, you know, knocked out around town.
Matt,
Yeah,
Matt Marletti, he lives at 609 6th Street.
for Jackson's old house up there, yeah. He works for Bellsville Borough, they said they would come out and help us, you know, we just need some kind of, get these potholes filled in, our work around there.
What about the hole down by my road?
Yeah, you know, you got all kind of holes, I don't know which one are you talking about?
No, I'm talking about the hole that's going under the road.
That pipe needs replaced. You know, I think we have the plastic, corrugated pipe in my yard.
Oh, my. Yeah, it is. It wasn't even supposed to rain today.
The chairperson.
Yeah, Jeremy, you said that about the drain behind the house.
That's what I mean, they wanted to,
Still waiting,
the engineer wants to do that, I can,
still waiting.
let's get them done, I mean, that's what we need to do is get them
Well, you're
done.
not gonna be able to fill in the hole down by my road.
No, it needs a new pipe.
Because it's deep in
Yeah, it
the
needs a new
road.
pipe.
I mean, I could put my whole arm in the pipe.
There's a pipe underneath.
Right down where my car is, like
Right
right
in her
across.
house in the car. Right
No,
there.
it's not even that. I'll have to show somebody, cause it's like right by the car.
Yeah, you showed me that one day, buddy. There's a pipe,
Yeah,
there's a pipe there, right?
it's big, it's got bigger now.
Yeah, we got the pipe in the mine yard. We just need to go around and fix
And
it. Why don't
people's
we
gonna
start?
hit it with their cars and they're gonna get a flat tire.
We need to start with the
Because
one
it's
by
deep.
Kathy's house, because that was the one that's been here the longest, and work our way around town. Because the one in front
Drain
of.
should have never been taken out of my house.
No, I was irate when I
You
came
know
up.
where my car's
Right,
parked,
right,
or
yeah.
garage is?
I was
Yeah.
arguing with them
Right
guys,
there.
but it was already done, so I
Right
couldn't.
in front of it. And it's
Don't know
going
what you're
into
doing,
my
you shouldn't be
yard.
doing it.
It's like deep into my yard.
Yeah, we need to get that fixed too, you know,
And the
that,
drain pipe, the drain pipe right there is not even cleared out.
yeah, we need to clear this out.
It's not even working.
How about we blacktop, you know, next Wednesday? Is that good with everybody? Good with you, Jim? Okay, then we're, like I said, we're gonna reconvene in what, 10 days? 11 days?
Yes.
We'll get all the potholes taken care of, then we'll concentrate on the drains. All these pipes around town, is that good for everybody? I mean, I have no problem helping. Me and Tom Yazanowski put in a dozen of these. Not literally a dozen, but a few of them drain pipes. I mean, I know how to do it. I even got a VCR tape if people want to watch it
We have
on
to
how to install them. You know.
make sure we've got the pipe in the yard. They
I'll
only
go down to
come
the
in,
mine yard, check tomorrow, and I'll text everybody.
they only come in like 20-foot lengths if we need more.
I know you guys want to pick that one up. That was quite rough. We have that old metal pipe down there. We should use that too before it gets ruined. I know they don't use it too much anymore, but we have it laying around. We might as well utilize it. Instead of buying new pipe, it's still able to be used. That's, whatever it is, I forget the name of it.
Corrugated.
Yeah, not the metal one. What's the metal one called? It's like, not
Not-
stainless, but,
Not the galvanized?
galvanized. Yeah, galvanized. Yeah, we have them old galvanized ones down there.
Hell, if I had a backhoe, I'd do it myself at this rate. It's ridiculous.
I was on the insurance, I'd do it for you by now. They took me off the insurance, I'd do it.
It would be better to use the corrugated stuff.
But that stuff's not bad though, that old metal stuff. I'm just saying, I mean, how expensive is that piping?
The corrugated?
I've never bought it.
Um,
I've used it, but I've never bought it.
a 20-foot section, I wanna say it ran us probably about 130.
Oh, that's not bad then. I would say use it too then. Okay, if it's that cheap, I would say use it too. I agree with you then, wholeheartedly. All right, so. So Friday, we're gonna fill in that, water break hole.
Print it out.
Are we gonna connect that house back up? I suggest doing that, just to be safe. The service line going to that house that nobody's living in, right before Fred Price's house.
Brisbane's house.
Oh,
Brisbane's
Brisbane's house.
Yes.
What'd you wanna do with it?
Hook the service line back up too, because it was broke. Okay. I would just suggest doing that. That would just be probably safer.
Yes. Cause that. You're good. All right, then,
Friday, so we're filling in a hole then, and Wednesday we're gonna go get asphalt. I suggest we take Riggs up on his offer, because he is very knowledgeable when it comes to this stuff. And there's some stuff that we're gonna need help with, you know, I did this, but I don't even, he's much more knowledgeable than I am, you know, and there's some stuff that we're gonna need expertise about, you know?
Yeah, cause he's been doing it before my son was born.
Yeah, he's good at that, he definitely is. We gotta get this stuff done, like keep putting it off, how many ever get done? Here, I wanted to give you guys this.
15 elections, file a petition to the court.
for all of them,
More than a majority is vacant, you've gotta have 15 electors petition the court.
Yeah, they have to petition the court themselves, though, correct?
No, the 15 electors can put a petition together.
Yeah,
Each
themselves.
individual, yeah, right. I
That's
mean,
right to the
we've
count,
got
yes.
2 more resignations.
Who else?
Who else resigned?
I wanna thank EQT, they gave the borough a $2,500 check for Community Day.
There
And
goes your work.
Equitrans is also giving us a $2,500
There
check.
goes your work.
okay.
So, here's a check from EQT.
And more
Well,
resigned.
Equitrans is coming, I guess. $2,500 for Community Day for the fireworks,
When is that?
so.
When?
It's supposed to be August 23rd, but it's gonna be tentatively on if they get the check in time. Because Equitrans said they sent the check out, but we haven't received it yet, have we? We haven't received the check, have we?
For what?
Equitrans at 25, okay. That's what we're waiting on, so.
So who else resigned? Let's get back to that.
Who else?
Yeah.
Everybody.
Everybody resigned?
I didn't resign.
Okay.
So Scott Beveridge was telling me the truth yesterday when he called me. This is
Yeah, he
like so
was.
childish. I got a message from a
He
reporter
was.
yesterday that everybody resigned. Then I asked everybody, nobody resigned. Only one person resigned. You know, this is, they're not letting me down, they're letting the community down. But that's actually, I don't know, whatever. I don't know.
So, who's on council now?
Just me.
Just Jeremy.
We're gonna have to petition the court and get new people. I'm gonna tell them to, whoever's interested, you know, go to the court, put the people on, it's on a ballot.
So
and-
why can't the people on the ballot be appointed now?
Yeah, why don't we do that before you guys leave? Because you're not screwing,
I'm
you're
just
screwing
saying.
residents.
Well,
You need that.
no, I just,
We have 3 council members here tonight. And we've got 3 letters of resignation that haven't been accepted. One from Wesley, one from Wesley's mother.
Mother.
What's her name?
Julia.
Julia. And one from Tristan.
We'll vote on it and
You got a quorum
accept it.
tonight. You can appoint somebody to fill. The ones who've announced that they want to resign, you can appoint somebody, but if they've resigned, they can't vote to appoint. So it's like catch-22.
Could we appoint someone and the next person resign, at least they have the common courtesy to do that? Because, I mean, the townspeople are getting screwed, not me. I mean,
I hear you.
are we able to do it like that? Like one person resign at a time so we can get new people in?
You've already
Problem
announced it.
is, you
They
gotta
haven't
have
been
3
accepted
votes.
yet.
That's the problem, I know.
You gotta have 3 votes. So if Mrs. Silva is not here,
I'll go
she's
to the
resigning,
courthouse
you've
tomorrow
got
then.
3
Good
votes
job.
here, you can appoint somebody
I
to
should
fill
leave
her
before the
spot.
meeting's over, just to screw them. So go to
But you don't have to revote.
Pardon?
Yeah.
He can't vote because he's the mayor.
No,
No.
you can. That she just.
Mayor can
vote. I can vote.
She
Oh,
took
you can
back
vote
her
now.
mayor's
Okay.
office.
I just read her letter.
Okay, that's fine.
Hold on 1 minute.
So- So if you guys wanna vote, where you going?
Just don't sell my phone, I'm just gonna go.
Just wait, Jeremy.
We're in a
Just wait
meeting.
for a
I
second.
know, but it's, they've been calling me 5 times in a row, so obviously something.
Well, we can wait 5 times.
I did.
So if you 3 wanna vote on accepting Juliet's resignation letter, you can do that, and then you can appoint somebody tonight if you want, because you got 3 votes out of 5, you can do that.
Then I need a motion to accept Juliet's resignation letter effective tonight.
I make a motion to accept Juliet Silver's resignation letter effective July 31st, 2019.
Moved in second, all in favor, aye.
Aye. Will you thank your mother for her service for me too?
Sure will. I have a letter, I was made aware last night that there were 2 premature vacancies in the Borough Council. In the event someone would need to be nominated, I would accept such a role. I ran in the primary in March and won the Democratic and Republican nominations. And while it is sooner than I had anticipated, I would quickly get to work for the town of Mariana if called upon. Scott Jones. So we have a request to fill the position.
Make a motion that we appoint Scott Jones to council.
So move second.
I'll second.
Moved in second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Wow.
So that's,
The secretary needs to inform Mr. Jones that he's been appointed to fill a vacancy and he needs to be sworn in. And the next meeting is what, 2 weeks from now, roughly?
I think August 12th or 13th.
Borough Council does not have to act on the other 2 at this time. You can table that until later. I would suggest that you reconvene at your regular August meeting and meantime, council has to authorize me to petition the court to fill the vacancy of Nick.
I make a motion that we, petition the court to fill the vacancy left by Nick Demus's resignation.
Motion made. Moved in second. All in favor, aye.
Are you guys the employees staying? I'm just curious, I just wonder, this is like the old apple cart went upside down,
What's that?
I said, are you guys staying or?
What, employee
Yeah,
wise?
yeah, employee wise.
Yeah.
Okay, I was just asking because everybody resigned all at once, I was just curious. It's kind of odd, it's unprecedented. I even called state agencies yesterday, this is very impressive.
I have a question. So this next meeting will be the second Wednesday in August, correct?
Correct, at 6 p.m.
Because this is the 4th time I have attempted to attend a meeting. Every time I came, there wasn't a quorum. It was postponed to some other time, to some other time, to some other time. If a meeting is stipulated that is to be the second Wednesday of every month, then my suggestion is clear your calendar, and that should be a priority. I understand there are emergencies that occur, but 4 times I think is a bit ridiculous.
No, I agree with you, I was up here last time when we had the
So-
gyps fly in.
You or whoever is going to be on council should know, just like the rest of us, the second Wednesday of every month, that meeting will be held.
No, I agree with you, I agree with you, I've been here. I mean, I was coming to all the meetings, I was here last month, nobody was here. So I met with the engineer and I came up to the meeting and I found out it was canceled on that.
Yeah, but you know how I found out? John happened to be here one time.
Yeah, he messaged me when I was on my way
And then
here.
some lady was standing out here the next time I came. One time I called Wes, and he said, yeah, it would be the second Wednesday in July. Okay, so then, all in all, this is the 4th time I've been here. So I can understand why people really get upset and just say, what's the point? What's the point of coming?
Oh, trust me, I know,
So-
I've been here.
That's why there's nobody ever at the borough meetings.
Oh, I know that, trust me,
So
I got frustrated myself when I wasn't gonna come.
I
and
would
just did
hope
all
that we can hold your feet to the fire that the second Wednesday of every month, there will be a borough meeting.
I mean, I'm always late, I'm always a couple minutes late, but I'm always here, I mean, that's just my character flaw I got of being late, but I'm only like 1 or 2 minutes late, but I've been here, I missed 1 meeting all year, I think. And that was in February, in the winter. How are we gonna notify the public though when meetings are canceled? Because they've only been canceled, the last couple of meetings have been canceled right before the meeting.
Bingo.
Like, I found out like a half hour, 45 minutes prior to the meeting.
Yeah, well,
Like the last one, I found out at 5:15.
Well, if there was
Well,
a
that
lady
shouldn't be
standing out
allowed.
here-
That shouldn't be allowed. In the code, it's not allowed.
My
You have to
friend
put
said-
it in a notice in the newspaper that it's canceled days in advance. Days in advance. You can't just cancel it.
The meeting's not canceled, there's just not a quorum.
But my point is,
But
And
that's
it's
the whole thing,
canceled.
that you're here to do the borough business.
I was saying, the meeting is not canceled, the meeting is scheduled, the meeting is held, but there's no quorum, so they can't go forward.
Okay, but that's the
It's
whole thing we're
different.
talking about. They are on the board,
And
they
most
should
of
be
these
here.
meetings, I'm on afternoon shift, so.
Yeah.
You know, I don't blame you.
Yeah, no,
I'm
I'm
saying
not,
it's not
I'm not
a
gonna
canceled
lose over $300 a day.
No, it's not worth it, I
Yeah.
don't blame you, I
In
really don't.
short.
I don't blame you either. That's insanity, Yeah, thank you guys for taking care of that water thing on the end of the street too, down there at Fish Street.
Oh, on that corner,
Yeah,
yeah.
my neighbor seen you guys down there, there was a bucket back there, and I looked, you guys have to dig up that curb stone. I bet you that was fun finding that.
Like for
I
example.
found it.
Oh, did you, I think with the metal detector, you just find
Tonight,
that.
the meeting was scheduled
got
at
under the
6
bush.
o'clock.
Yeah, we're gonna have to use it, back
In
there.
order to make a quorum, Tristan had to be here. So
What is
to
it, seized up or
guarantee that there was a quorum,
It's
I
up under the
scheduled
tree.
around his work schedule, so
And
he
they
could be
put
here.
all like a foot and a half of that fill from when they built that garage over
Yeah,
there.
you had,
So it's way down there.
yes.
Can't get a wrench on it.
and again, to some degree I sympathize, but my whole point is, if you're gonna be on council, then that's
Be on
everyone's
council.
stipulations,
Yes, ma'am.
so. I just had to express my frustration, that's all. And you know, Wes, I did call you,
Yes, you sure did.
I did. It takes a lot to push me to that point.
Actually, that was the first time I heard you above a whisper.
How can we advertise this? Like,
I don't know, but don't go on Facebook, because.
No, we need to make a official, like, put it out there somehow, like, put it up in a, we should have like a deadline when we know by, so we could put it in a post office so people could see it at the very least, or something, on a bulletin board down there, or something.
You're not canceling the meeting, Jeremy.
But just rescheduling those so
It's a lack
people,
of quorum.
I know that, but
So
if
you
we
don't
find
know
out
who's
enough
gonna show
time.
and who's not gonna show necessarily, you still have to have the meeting and appear, and everybody appears is gonna be here. If you don't have a quorum, then you can't proceed.
Yeah, but I mean, nobody showed up last time, I was the only one here, I dropped the paper off for 10 minutes and that was it, but the meeting was already canceled, rescheduled by then. I just figure if we find out early enough time, is the point I'm getting at, is just to let the public know, just to common courtesy. You know, let you guys know if, you know, we find out soon enough. It's gonna be interesting.
Roads update, we need George Kelly to take a look at the Tiger Run. Something's going on with that.
Oh, my God.
What's it doing? I mean, do you have any idea, like, what it's doing?
The PTO's not engaging.
Okay.
And then, the blue pickup truck needs a manifold.
We discussed that months ago.
Yeah. So we need to get one. That's what we need to do now.
It's a V10, right?
Yeah.
You gotta tap those out. Really try to take them off the brake. You gotta have them tapped out.
Yeah. That's what George was saying.
Yeah, 'cause that's right, in V10, you gotta have them tapped out.
Because we
That's
need
the
to
time
get
it's taking jobs.
Yeah.
That is what it is.
Yeah.
Probably,
We need,
probably looking at $1,200 just for labor.
George said we need the manifold to start, because I guess it cracked. So he's gotta get it out and put a new one in, so we need to get a manifold for that.
What's wrong with the red truck, the red dump? You told me, I forgot that. I was gonna take it out there tomorrow morning.
Tie run-ins.
On the passenger side or both sides?
I think it was the driver's side.
Okay, driver's side tie run-in is bad, okay. I'm gonna take it out prior, I'm gonna have, you know, take it out prior, is that okay with everybody, or
Yes,
tomorrow?
it needs inspected too.
Okay, yeah. They didn't have stickers that one time we were out there, correct? That's what I was told. When we took it out there one time, I think earlier this year, they didn't have stickers or something, I was told. They're out of something and we couldn't get it inspected. Stickers, I believe.
So we need a motion to go ahead and order that manifold for George.
Okay, I make a motion that we order the manifold
For the truck inspected.
for the blue Ford pickup truck.
And then,
Do we wanna like look around on prices to get the most price effective, you know, get the most, I don't know if we call around, we could probably get it at a lower price.
oh, I'm sure Erica will work on that.
Okay, alright.
Motion was made, second. Moved and second, all in favor, aye? Aye. For the red dump and the Tiger Run, the red dump to be inspected.
Make a motion that we take the red dump out to be inspected and the tie rod ends fixed tomorrow at Pryor's garage.
So moved, seconded, all in favor, aye? Aye. Motion to have George Kelly take a look at the Tiger Run,
I make a motion that we call George Kelly and have him
look at
look
the
at the Tiger
PTO,
Run,
look at the
PTO,
PTO.
and see what the problem is with the PTO.
Moved and second, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Is Mr. Cowley an employee of yours, or he just does work for you?
He just doesn't work for us.
Pay him?
Yeah, we do pay him. We do pay him, yes.
Actually, we don't.
We don't?
No.
Okay.
Mr. Kelly has never submitted an invoice to me in the last 2 years that I've been here.
Okay, that's great then. It's even nicer then. George does good work though. I mean, you can't, you know,
He gets
does.
paid
He's always
cash.
done a fine job with everything.
Cash.
He's not paid cash.
Yes, he is.
He's not. I mean,
Yeah.
you can sit there and say that all you want.
He is.
No, I remember him submitting, you know, a couple years
He
ago.
has, in 10 years, when I look back,
There was a few
he
girls.
submitted one invoice. He has never
When
submitted
was it, like
anything to me.
2015 or around there, wasn't it?
It was before that even.
So I remember one time he did, but we don't call him often.
That's before we ask about him, that's why.
He
I got
was-
plenty of them from him, yeah.
All right, George, he's always good.
All right,
I'm sure.
now at this time, it's public commentary.
comments?
Jeremy, Scott Beveridge knew all these resignations were in yesterday
Yes,
at the Observer Reporter.
yes.
He contacted you.
Yes, he contacted me around, I was grocery shopping, he contacted me around 4 p.m.
Must be psychic, 'cause I just did mine.
I know, I'm just saying, that's,
I promise you must be psychic, I just did mine today.
yeah, he contacted me yesterday. 'Cause I contacted
And I
you.
didn't even,
Yep.
In a panic.
and I didn't even talk to him at all. So, I don't even know how he knew that the resignations were happening.
Well,
Or
he
taking
messaged me
place.
at 3:16 p.m. and asked to talk to me.
So how much do we owe the water company now?
No,
So if you
just
paid
sent-
ten
just sent a
thousand
check
and
for
ten
it.
thousand,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
$20,000. How do we still owe 53? It was 57 like back in May. If you paid them 10,000, you said in your meeting, in your pay, that you paid them $10,000 in June and July. So how do we still have 57,000 or 53,000?
Continue to use water, man.
That's what we're in the hole. That's what we were told, 57,000.
53, I think.
Well, that's the
Okay.
outstanding balance, that's my understanding, isn't that right? That's the outstanding balance.
Outstanding balance, yeah, it's about 53.
So you
last
accrue
time I
water expenses as you go along, and then they pay, what, $10,000 each month, so.
looked. If everybody resigned, and thank you for your service, you know.
Between 5 and 6.
I didn't try to argue with people, it was just, stuff was done differently before.
We're
you know,
talking,
there's-
hold on, she's talking.
I'm sorry.
3,000 in late fees or more.
How much?
In late fees alone, probably somewhere between 15, 16,000.
Oh,
Now, how many of those are like absolute non-payment? That
Well,
the
that's
people
just
that
our
don't
late fees
pay?
through Southwest Water. We've asked them to go to the board in regards to late fees. They've said that they were going to, now all of a sudden it's, well, we can't.
Yeah, they said they were going to before, but they wanted paid in full,
Well,
correct?
she was talking.
I know what she's talking
yeah.
about. She's talking about residents with late fees, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like, and what's the total that, like, they owe?
Each month, Jim and I print out a list. There's anywhere from 50 to 75 residents on that list. And the total that is due is anywhere from $16,000 to $21,000.
So basically, we're losing a month's water payment due to
More than that.
residents
It's over a
not
month,
paying.
yeah, it's over.
That's over a month.
Their water can't be shut off.
I suggest we let
We check
Southwest
with the
take
law.
over.
We go and data log them.
Our billing.
They turn their water back on.
Remember
So that's illegal.
they offered
It
to
is
do that?
illegal.
I take them to court.
We should. We
I
should.
don't get that. It just seems like you keep having the
We had
same
to put them
problem,
things on it.
trying to do something.
We put locks on them.
Different.
I've had a
Well, then they
resident
should
dig
be-
up the lock, take the whole curb stop out just to
Yeah.
turn their water back on.
Well, they should be charged. They should
they should
be
be charged.
We can't
charged.
charge them, though,
Can't
because
charge
you
them.
gotta
You
see
Why
it.
can't you?
You gotta catch them in action, that's the problem.
Yeah, that's what I was told.
Yeah, we went to the
But
magistrate.
you physically put the lock on it.
Yes,
But we
And
can't,
you know you did that.
yes.
And they removed it. That's a crime.
it is, but
It
the
is.
magistrate said we have to catch them in the act.
Yep.
Yeah, it's hearsay.
Because they claim.
Exactly.
Because
Cause
somebody
they can
else
say,
did.
hey, my
Exactly.
neighbor 3 houses down the road came up and dug it up,
Mhm.
but then really he dug it up. So,
So
you're not gonna
then,
bust them both.
nowadays, people have cameras everywhere.
Yeah.
Why can't you find proof that way? I'm just saying, ask neighbors. Everybody has cameras.
Probably on somebody's.
There'd be a camera on a quarter of the houses in the borough.
Well, somebody had to see them dig it up.
I'm just saying,
Exactly.
somebody has
Neighbors
to
had
see
them dig
something.
it up.
Yeah, but they're not.
If
Yeah, but they're
everybody's
not
upset
gonna-
about their
they're
water
not gonna
bills,
say
and upset
nothing.
about the bills
They're
not
not
being
gonna
paid,
say
then they
nothing.
start turning in their neighbors. They're not
Exactly.
paying if they're doing these things, but nobody's doing it.
And we have, some have wrenches of their own, some fill up the curb stop with stone or concrete.
Anything.
Some dig up the curb stop, turn it back on, even when we put the lock on top, they'll dig it out, they'll pull the whole thing up. We had one that was even more creative and just moved the whole, he moved the curb stop.
And buried
So
the
you
He
just
valve.
buried the
Drown.
valve and
Just
moved the
hit the curb.
curb stop.
So you need to borrow somebody's trail cam, stick it up wherever your turning people's
can
locks
find
off and watch them, because they'll get busted right then and there.
I mean,
Trail cams, everybody has a trail cam. Put it up, right where you know you put the lock.
But you
You'll
can't
catch
use
them.
that in court neither,
Why?
because you can't. You have to let someone
You're
know that your
infringing on
camera.
someone's privacy.
Okay, so you put it up. You put it up. You make it public that we have trail cams up.
Well, yeah,
Put a
Make it
sign.
public.
that would help deter the.
I'm just saying, make it public.
yeah, cause my car
Yeah, but
got,
then
someone broke into
where
my
they
car
are,
and I couldn't use
They're gonna steal the
neighbor's
trail cams.
You're right.
camera to
We got
state
secret
that
so
they
drastic
broke
with
into
that.
I've had
my car.
5 stolen up
Because
behind the
they
house.
said They couldn't use it
Yeah.
in court.
I've had a
So
blind up
that's
behind the
all I
house.
know.
Somebody stole it.
No, somebody went up and sliced it with a knife. $300 hunting blind.
Well, maybe we should have looked into a while ago when they wanted to bring police in here part-time. That would have been
If we had the
ideal.
money, it would be awesome. Honest to God, if we had the money, I would love to.
If people pay their water bills, we'd be fine.
Exactly.
And
You can take a horse to water, but you can't make them drink.
Yeah.
Only if you have water.
Leslie, you remember that one time, we had an issue with one person, Dwayne was gonna dig up the road, it got so bad. You know, it's just,
You dig up the road, be more potholes, huh?
yeah, but it was taking the water, you know, we were just so frustrated because we tried everything with this certain individual and they would not stop. Went to the magistrate, they had to catch him in action, it was like,
Well, thanks for the idea of letting me know how I can get away from the water. Well, I gotta go, and those of you who were on council, I give you a lot of credit because I sure didn't want to do your job. And Jeremy always says, onward and upward, I don't know what else to say.
Have a good night.
have a good night.
See ya.
Any other comments? Motion to adjourn?
I second the motion.
Adjourn.
Moved and second, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.